work. Welcome in to the press conference scheduled at noon today with 200 different agencies calling for a special prosecutor to handle the behavior of ICE in Chicago. Seeing that Burke won't prosecute any of them. Hi, Peace. Hi, Dee. As you see, the alphabet media is here. Hi, Susan. Welcome in. Nana's downtown today at Federal Plaza. Over 200 agencies have called for a press conference. They have filed a petition to have a special prosecutor to handle what ICE atrocities have happened in Chicago. Yeah, the donut shop's across the street, so. I'm staying over here because I don't want to lose my spot, and they will run me over. Hey, Ellie, welcome in. I'm downtown. It's a beautiful sunny day, but it's cold. We're waiting for the press conference to start. Oop. I almost got run over. Oh, guys, let me tell you what I did yesterday on my day off. I tried to get a press pass in Chicago through the CPD. The only way you can get a press pass here is if, in fact, you work for a mainstream media. No independent. So they said no go. And then I checked the federal court building, and you have to have a Chicago PD pass. Oh, okay. Okay. So, no, Dee, that is correct. There's, unless you have one of those alphabets in your name. Nope. Hi, Brad. Welcome in. I'm waiting for a news conference to start. Again, there's over 200 agencies that are calling for a special prosecutor to handle what DHS has done in Chicago. They filed the paperwork about an hour and a half ago. Hi, Minnie. Welcome in. Cricket, Mr. B. In case I missed anybody. Hello, hello. I'm watching the crowd to see if anybody that I know shows up. So far, nobody from Broadview is here. Hey, Scott, welcome in. Oh, it's Racing Little. I'm sorry, Racing. This is an adult channel. It's not allowed for children in here. I'm so sorry. Happy birthday, though. Scott, you're not wrong with that statement.
Well, the front wasn't stretchy, the back was stretchy, and I was like, I almost tried to make it fit, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna take it back. Because they were petite and large.
Yep. Yeah. Which page am I looking? That's the old school way to do it, too. It's not on the phone, you know? That's true. We are waiting for them to start. Yes, he is. 100%. Everybody's tired of it.
Michael informed me when it was filed. Damn, the Rico's down.
Oh, he's got a fancy jacket with Channel 7 on it. Wow. Again, you can't get press credentials in Chicago unless you belong to one of the major Chicago network news stations. Yeah, I know. When I'm at the zoo, Susan. I'm enjoying this sunshiny day today.
Looking good, man. Yeah, 15, 20. Man, look, you're still looking younger than all of us, man. How you doing? You good out here, man?
You got on that jam, though, right?
Yes, sir. Oh, always. Okay. I'm on, man. I became an attorney, bro. Yeah, thank you. Also, they came here with like some of the rapid response folks. You know, this little civil rights litigation stuff. You know, we're in the streets too still.
Busy.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, my bad.
Right. Are you independent or what?
No, I'm with Channel 2.
Okay. Cool. Good stuff, bro. Good stuff. You get your number, bro. Actually, you open up a new firm this year, so I'm still doing all my branding and stuff. What's your number, bro?
Yeah, Minnie. You're next in line. No, I think Dip gets it first because she's in Indiana. Although I think I'd take the 5 inches of snow instead of the tornadoes. There was a lot of damage. It was insane. Absolutely insane.
Thank you, brother. I love to see that, man. Yes, sir, man. I love to see us all do some good stuff, right? Yeah, hit you up when it's right?
Oh, I know that guy. Hi, Rod. Hello, hello, Nurse Rod. I am at a press conference today downtown at Federal Plaza, where 200 agencies are actually calling for an independent special prosecutor to handle the DHS cases here in Chicago. So we'll see how things go. Yeah, Holly, but nope. No independence. You have to have this kind of coverage. You have to belong to the network, or otherwise there's no passes. Oh, 5 to 10 minutes, guys. We can just talk. Talk amongst yourselves. No, it doesn't. This is actually for the Midway Blitz that occurred last September through, what was it, like November? And how DHS has gotten away with absolutely everything without being prosecuted for anything. And they want to have a independent prosecutor handle the cases against DHS. Oh, gee, that's a lot of wind. We're supposed to get a lot of wind this afternoon, but as you can see by the flag, it hasn't hit yet. So, yeah, and Kankakee also in Illinois got hit with a tornado too. So. Yes, but they won't, even with me giving them all my identification as a real person, still refuse. It has to be a network known to them either nationwide or in Chicago. It's fine. It's just frustrating. I'm going to stamp here because, well, I think we do have one speaker here. Sometimes it's hard to hear, so. Yeah, it is, Nurse Rod, because the head prosecutor in Illinois is Burke, and she will not go forward with holding any of them accountable. So these 200 different agencies have decided to come together and have a petition to the court to have them have a special prosecutor here in Chicago. So, oh, gee, then I could come visit you. Nana's channel's still a little too small for that. Sorry. They have agencies that I could belong to, but you have to pay a membership fee and you have to pay a monthly fee and all this other. It's just me, right? I can't afford to pay all those costs just for a press pass. So. I must say the officer at CPD did try to help me as much as she could. It was her supervisor that poo-pooed the whole idea. Yeah, we're all coming, D. Who'd have thought that Americans wanted to be English again? Hi, Mimi. Welcome in. We're waiting for the news conference to start. Yes, all the alphabets are here today. I actually like bangers and mash, and so I could fit right in there. We might be going to start. Here's hoping. Peace. It's a king now. It's a king, not a queen. It's a king. Actually,
Midway Blitz special.
yes, this is the Midway Blitz. Oh, that's a smart idea. Hopefully it doesn't fall down, but I don't think it'll fall. It's a smart idea, though.
Second to last.
Tricks of the trade.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm sorry. Be careful of the wire.
Okay, I will.
All right, everyone gather around.
Okay. We got a whole bunch.
sNana.
Welcome in. This is a press conference for putting in a special prosecutor for DHS for the Midway Blitz. Good crowd, good crowd.
Come on, midget.
Test.
No, blocked for sure, but I like your name. It's not a protest. It's a press conference.
So if you're to the left of the speaker here, you're not going to be seen. So if you could come down here, those folks on the end.
All right, I see it.
If you get another row, get another
D.
row here. Nipple on the end. You get a third row right here.
He's got my business card.
Just 1 second, everybody. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Daniel Masolia. I am the Civil Rights Clinic Director at First Defense Legal Aid. I'm here with a great group of people, a very exciting announcement that this morning more than 200 community organizations, elected officials, religious leaders, plaintiffs in previous litigation, people who are concerned about what happened this fall and the fact that there's been no action taken. So today we're going to have a number of speakers talking about that no one is above the law, least of all law enforcement. Our first speaker will be Juan Pablo Herrera, who is the board president of Palenque LSNA and a member of the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights.
David, these aren't politicians.
Thank you. Juan Pablo Herrera, Juan Pablo Good morning. Last year, Chicago felt terrorized. And I don't use that word lightly. In neighborhoods like Logan Square, Hermosa, Belmont Cragen, and my own neighborhood of Humboldt Park, people who have built their lives suddenly felt unsafe in their own streets. Families who have worked hard, raised their children here, contributed to the life of the city began to live with a new kind of fear. But for me, it's not abstract. This is personal. Members of my own congregation were terrorized under the operations carried out under Operation Midway Blitz. These people are the ones that I pray with, people I break bread with, people whose children I have blessed and watched grow up. Children in our own community became afraid to walk to school, parents became afraid to leave their homes, and when people asked themselves where they could go to feel safe, even houses of worship, places that should represent sanctuary, mercy, and refuge, did not feel safe anymore. And that breaks my heart. That should break all of our hearts. Federal agents who were part of Operation Midway Blitz violated state criminal law in dozens of well-documented incidents across Cook County during the fall of 2025. And the harm that they inflicted on our communities cannot be measured simply in reports or statistics. It lives in the fear of children, in the fear of the people, of those that now that they distrust people who are supposed to serve them. And during these months, we also saw federal agents target journalists, clergy, protesters, and community members. People who were singled out just because of the color of their skin. People who were met with violence simply for standing up for what they believed was right. And some of those people are my friends. Some of those people are my co-laborers in the work of justice and community care. And so today, some of them are facing felony charges simply because they stood up for their neighbors, for their communities, and for the values that we claim as a democracy. And meanwhile, the agents who committed these acts have not been held accountable.
Nope.
Federal prosecutors are not investigating. State prosecutors are not investigating.
Oh.
Instead, the victims of Operation Midway Blitz are the ones being dragged into court. And that's not justice.
Nope.
Those who have power are accountable and for how they use it. See, no one is above the law.
Yep.
And right now our communities are asking a simple question. Who's going to hold these agents accountable? A broad coalition representing people from all across Cook County is standing together because people are tired. People are tired of hearing that nothing can be done. People are tired of leaders pointing to obstacles instead of solutions.
Yep.
People are tired of empty promises. People are tired of a culture of impunity where government officials harm communities and face no consequences. That's why we're calling today for the appointment of an independent special prosecutor to investigate the actions of federal agents involved in Operation Midway Blitz.
Yes.
An independent prosecutor is the best path forward toward truth and accountability. And it removes the investigation from local political pressures. And it removes the fear of retaliation from federal authorities. And it ensures that this investigation will have the time and resources necessary to uncover the truth. What we're asking for today isn't radical. We're asking for accountability. We're asking for leadership. We're asking for the rule of law to apply to everyone. I believe deeply in justice, the kind of justice that restores dignity, that tells the truth, that ensures that harm like this never happens again. Our communities deserve that. The children in our neighborhoods deserve that. And so today we call on state's attorney to show the leadership that this moment demands by appointing a special prosecutor. And if that leadership doesn't come from that office, then someone must step forward who is willing to ensure that justice is not ignored. Because accountability is not an option in a democracy. And because the people of Chicago and all of Cook County deserve the truth. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Juan Pablo. Our next speaker is Tanya Woods, TanyWoods, Executive Director of the Westside Justice Center.
That ain't right. That ain't right. That show ain't right. We saw in 2025, which should never ever happen again. Our federal government actually told the community and the residents of Chicago that he was coming to Chicago to stop crime and violence, which we know in the Black community is usually just a code word for coming to the West Side and the South Side. But he pulled a bait and switch on us all, and instead we were visited by ICE and Border Patrol, and havoc and terror wreaked our Latino American communities and so much more. There are communities that don't often get the spotlight, that are often still living in the shadows that we don't even talk about or hear about. But we know that on the south side of Chicago, there were helicopters that hovered overhead and rappelled down the side of the building and put children in zip ties in the Black community. That happened, and that ain't right. That ain't right. We know on the west side, outside of California and Harrison, right down the street from the police department, we saw a man thrown from a car running for his life. But luckily, there were people there to bear witness as this man was hunted down in the middle of the street like a dog. And that ain't right. That ain't right. So I want you to know that while you may see the faces of Latino Americans who are fighting for their very life, there are people in the Pan-African diaspora. There are Afro-Cubans, Afro-Caribbeans, Afro-Latinos, Africans, and African Americans that are also collateral damage to this terrorizing, this draconian law enforcement under the guise of keeping criminals out of Chicago. And so we are calling for some accountability. We are calling for a special prosecutor to hold those who are responsible accountable. And that can only be done with a special prosecutor. And so we are asking for, could we have seen, we will never, ever stand for again, because that ain't right. That ain't right. That ain't right.
Right. Our next speaker is Jocelyn Aranda Ortiz.
Am I back?
Jocelyn Aranda, Aranda, Ortiz, Ortiz, Deportation Defense Organizer at the Resurrection Project.
In the
Good
back?
afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today.
Okay.
My name is Jocelyn Aranda Ortiz, Deportation Defense Organizer at the Resurrection Project. And I'm here to tell you all what happened with Operation Midway Blitz, what actually it looked like to our people. Not in a court filing, but the people that are walking through our doors in the southwest side of Chicago. Brothers separated just days before a life-saving kidney transplant. Neighbors volunteering their time to patrol elementary schools for fear of federal agents kidnapping our children. A young man taking care of his orphan siblings kidnapped because officials couldn't find the person they were looking for.
Yep.
His family fractured yet again after having already surviving so much heartache. Families who did everything right, who showed up, who trusted this city, and were treated like their rights didn't exist. But this story doesn't end with us. And as we've said in the beginning, an attack in our immigrant community is an attack on all of us. We have now arrived at a moment where all of our freedoms are under attack and our rights are routinely violated with no consequences for the people terrorizing and even killing our families.
Yep.
But we resist because we've got us. So we are so blessed to live in a place where our neighbors don't watch quietly through their windows, but protest loudly in the streets and blow whistles to warn our community members to stay inside. And while our brave neighbors stood with us, lawless authorities pepper sprayed clergy who were praying. They shot rubber bullets at journalists documenting their crimes. They threatened witnesses with machine guns. They have even detained elected officials while they were standing up for their constituents. And that ain't right. At the end of the day, we need to understand that this is not just a story. This is just not our immigrant story for our communities. This is us. This is our reality. And this is a story about what happens when the government decides that some people only deserve protection. At the end of the day, they're gonna turn their weapons at us when we decide resist. At the end of the day, we have to define what our reality is. They're coming for our people, our journalists, faith leaders, neighbors, everyone. And we are not asking for anything special today. The most basic obligation of our government is to protect people and their rights. We are asking for public servants to do their duty and uphold the law they swore to uphold.
Yes, Governor Pritzker.
At the Resurrection Project, our attorneys and organizers show up every day to do everything within our powers to keep our families and communities safe. We run deportation defense. We sit with families in crisis. We fight in court to keep our families together. And after a year of this madness, we know that we're not alone. We know that we've got us. But we're tired of waiting, and we need our government to do its job. We're so proud to stand here surrounded by friends and allies across Cook County and all walks of life with one simple message. State Attorney Burke, do your job.
Yep.
Uphold the law. Appoint a special prosecutor and prosecute these criminals. Thank you.
David, she's not a politician.
Our final speaker is Marcela Rodriguez, Marcela.
There's actually no politicians out here right now. These are all different community service organizations.
Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. I am Marcy Rodriguez, Executive Director of Enlace Chicago, an organization in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood, working to improve the quality of life of all of our residents. And I'm also the co-chair of the Illinois Latino Agenda, which is a coalition of Latino leaders that are united to advocate collectively for the well-being of all of our Latino communities in Illinois. I'm here representing all of our immigrant families and individuals. Little Village is the heart of the Mexican community in one of the most vibrant neighborhoods in our city. It is a place where we build families, workers, and small businesses who care deeply about one another, come together and defend each other. It is a place when you're walking in the morning, you smell the fresh pan baking in our bakeries, and where parents walk their children to the school, where elders sit in their front porches and greet their neighbors. But for months, the warmth and vibrancy was overshadowed by the fear as a result of ICE and CBP actions. At the end of the block where Enlace is located, a young man and his father were detained by ICE as they were walking to a local grocery store just to buy food for lunch. His son, when he saw that the agents were being brutal with him, tried to advocate for him. And in return, they turned their violence to him. As they tackled him, it was so hard that his head bounced off of the concrete, and they continued to punch him in the head and then drag both of them into their car. Luckily, he was released later, but with criminal charges for obstruction.
That's her favorite one.
These unjustified military tactics turned an ordinary neighborhood into a place of fear and uncertainty. And this fear was not just towards undocumented individuals. U.S. citizens, mixed status families, seniors, and children across our neighborhoods were afraid to leave their homes. Adults did not go to work. Children and youth did not go to school. And families could not meet their basic needs, buying groceries, picking up medication, going to doctor appointments, or simply going to wash their clothes. What we witnessed raised serious concerns about the violation of fundamental human and civil rights.
Yep.
And the abuse of federal authority within our communities cannot be accepted and cannot continue. Small businesses in our neighborhood that
Thanks,
sustain our community saw customers disappear overnight. Families who rely on daily wages could not safely leave their homes, and local businesses suffered devastating economic losses as fear spread through our community. After Bovino visited our offices because he showed up in our front door one day in December, right around the holidays, our staff who once felt safe within our offices are no longer
Hi, Tina.
safe. They have fear to be able to come in and provide the services that their community very muchly needs. We have witnessed horrible acts against innocent people within our communities, city, and state. But what is most troubling is that even after everything that happened, no one has been held accountable. Despite numerous documented instances of misconduct, including the use of excessive, even fatal force, there has been no action taken.
Nope.
People are tired of hearing that nothing can be done. Someone needs to show this administration that no one is above the law.
Yeah.
And the people of Cook County have already proven that we are not afraid to stand up for what is right. We are demanding justice for every family who has been forced to live in constant fear. And we are calling for an end to this culture of impunity where government agents can violate the law with absolutely no consequences. Little Village, our communities are not a battlefield. It is a community of families, workers, and children who deserve dignity and safety. This is why we are all here petitioning for the appointment of an independent prosecutor to investigate the abuses that occurred during Operation Midway Blitz, and to investigate any future actions if and when they return.
Hi, Scooter.
I want to thank the group who first stepped forward to coordinate this effort. Their leadership has led to this petition, which helps spark a coalition of support that has grown into one of the broadest we have ever seen. This effort has united members of Congress, state legislators, local elected officials, legal experts, faith leaders, journalists, scholars, community organizations, and residents, demonstrating that this issue is not partisan or isolated. It is a shared call from every corner of our civic life for justice and accountability. The lack of leadership and meaningful accountability is eroding our democracy. The appointment of an independent prosecutor is essential. It's an essential step forward, ensuring justice for victims of Operation Midway Blitz, and reaffirming the human rights of everyone affected by this crisis. By addressing the human cost of these actions and removing political barriers, an independent prosecutor can deliver fairness and justice in a way that local authorities cannot.
Hi, Rod.
This moment forces us to confront the moral and human costs of a system that treats people as disposable, disregarding their humanity and their integral role in American society. We are American. Our actions are American. For the residents of Cook County, this is not just about legal processes. It is about protecting their families, their communities, and their dignity. The people of Little Village and of our city deserve justice. The families, the children, the community organizations like Enlace who have been left in the wake of these attacks deserve accountability. Our culture is strength. Our families are our foundation. And our resilience is stronger than fear. Little Village and our other communities will not be defined by these attacks. We will be defined by the courage of us and our people.
Even in the face of trauma, fear, instability, our immigrant families continue to show extraordinary determination to protect their families and build a better future for their children. Their unwavering spirits is a testament of hope. And we need our government to show that same courage. And we need our government to give us that same hope by standing with its people and protecting the dignity, rights, and humanity of the communities it serves. Thank you.
So I told a little lie earlier. We have one more speaker, and it is Representative Lilian Jimenez, LILIANJIMENEZ, from Illinois' 4th Congressional District.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I wanted to thank everybody who was here because those speeches were amazing and from the heart, and I hope you really understood what our communities have been going through by listening to these wonderful community organizers speak to this issue. So thank you so much for being here, everybody. As a state representative, I represent the 4th District, which is made up of Westtown, Ukrainian Village, Humboldt Park, parts of Hermosa, and Belmont-Cragen. And I proudly represent the west side of Chicago. In the west side of Chicago, there is fear. And it is unacceptable that our government, that Cook County government, state's attorney, has not made an impactful statement to ensure that our communities feel safe and are safe. It is unacceptable that this morning I woke up at 7:30 a.m. to text messages that there was somebody who was abducted across the street from my son's school in the morning as kids are going to school. This is a daily occurrence. It is unacceptable that I had to go to a healthcare center to be with a mom who just is 8 months pregnant and had to watch her husband be dragged away from her as his car door and car window was broken, smashed by a federal agent. He was dragged outside of his car as his pregnant wife had to watch this happen and had to be held back by doctors and nurses who were fearful for her life and for the life of her child. It is unacceptable that this happened last fall, but just last week I spoke to a neighbor who still felt that trauma. I ask you, if this was happening to anyone else, would our state's attorney be silent?
No.
Would our state's attorney be in a position that she is now? And would we be seeing that there's no prosecutions if this is happening to anybody else? This is unacceptable. I hope that this would be unacceptable to any other community. I expect that any community would be standing up right now and saying that we refuse to allow community members to be dragged out of their cars, dragged out of their homes consistently. And it didn't end in the fall. It happened this morning.
Yeah.
It's happened this week. And unless we stand up and show those agents who currently have free reign in the city of Chicago, unless something is done, they will continue. And it will not stop with our community. That is what I'm fearful of. I think that's what people need to understand. If we allow this to happen to this community, this particular community, do we think that this is gonna just stop? One day we're just gonna wake up? We have a lawless government who is violating daily federal court orders. Hundreds of people have been unlawfully, there's the Nava consent decree. We just heard that wonderful reporting from the Tribune said that 70 people have been ordered released and hundreds more have been deported, detained, in contrary to the Nava consent decree. It is unacceptable. And I just want to mention, we're seeing no action here in Cook County, right, from our state's attorney. But what's happening in Hennepin County? Does anybody know what's happening in Hennepin County in Minnesota? Their prosecutor just announced 17 investigations. Their prosecutor just announced that one of the investigations is because federal agents threw a gas canister in a crowd. Does that sound familiar? That happened right here.
Yep.
It happened a few blocks away from my house. It happened in a little village.
Yeah.
It happened to one of my colleagues.
Yep.
Many of us probably standing right here. Children walking by, smoke canister. Having to see their parents dragged away from their home. In Hennepin County, the state's attorney has started investigations. I am asking, why not here? Why not us? Why not now?
Yeah.
We have the right to feel safe in Cook County. We pay taxes, we live, we work, we contribute, just like anybody else. And our neighbors, hasn't stopped. It's not just immigrants.
No.
It hasn't stopped with our neighbors. Anybody who steps up with the whistle becomes
Yep.
a target.
Yep.
We have seen so many people be victims of those gas canisters. We have seen young men being thrown into the ground in the south side of Chicago, who are American citizens, thrown to the ground because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. We've seen people dragged out of their homes in South Shore and in a building, and it was regardless of color. So this is what I'm telling you. If we do not draw a line right now, if we do not put a stop to this right now, if we don't prosecute, if we don't investigate, it will continue. And it is the black and brown communities. Yes, we will be on the front line, but all of us, we are giving away our rights right now. This moment, we are giving away our rights. So I ask you, are we supposed to be quiet? We will not be quiet. Thank you.
So we'll have time for questions with lead counsel Steve Art as well as speakers. So I will hand things off to Steve.
Hi, I'm Steve Art from the law firm Loby & Loby. It is my extreme privilege to represent these petitioners and many, many, many other petitioners who have brought this petition in the Circuit Court of Cook County today to appoint a special prosecutor to prosecute and investigate crimes committed by federal agents during Operation Midway Blitz. I can't do any better than what all of our wonderful speakers just said, but we will take questions from the press about the legal filing, about what comes next, or any questions for the petitioners who are here today.
Steve, could you walk us through that? How does this work exactly, and how can you hold anyone accountable? How can somebody be appointed here?
So the question is, what's the process? How can anyone be held accountable in these circumstances? And the answer to that question is, federal agents are not immune from prosecution for state crimes that they commit, and the federal agents who committed crimes in Cook County as part of Operation Midway Blitz will not be immune for those crimes. Those crimes were far in excess of their federal duties. They were obviously not actions that were necessary to carry out any reasonable federal program, and so those officers can be held accountable in state courts for their state crimes. What we've seen in Cook County is that the elected state's attorney has abdicated her duty to the people of Cook County by refusing to investigate those crimes, by refusing to bring prosecutions, by refusing to do that in the face of incredibly well-documented crimes on video, crimes that multiple federal judges in the building across the street have decided shocked the conscience. There has been no action whatsoever. And when a state's attorney decides that they are not going to take action, then an independent prosecutor can be appointed to do the job that the state's attorney refuses to do. So we filed a petition in the criminal court of Cook County for the chief judge of the criminal court to appoint an independent special prosecutor who will assume all of the duties of the state's attorney and who can prosecute and investigate these crimes. So the question is, why not have a statewide special prosecutor? Why not have a Well, so the answer to that question is, much of the misconduct that we are talking about, much of the criminal conduct that we are talking about occurred in Cook County. And so we, as the community in Cook County, are focusing first on what occurred in Cook County and accountability in Cook County and a special prosecutor who has jurisdiction in Cook County. That's not to say that a statewide effort is out of the question. That's not to say that after the statewide commission
He's the
on
attorney
racist
that
crimes
filed.
here in Cook County issues a report that there won't be
Oh,
a broader
sorry.
action. But the first step of accountability and a good example
Sorry,
of how
guys.
this accountability for federal officers would function has to happen here locally where the majority of the crimes were committed. So one of our petitioners said this earlier, and I think a key point that folks have to understand is folks are tired of elected officials and leaders saying there's obstacles, saying we can't do this, saying, oh, there's all kinds of complications we have to
Yes,
deal with.
Governor
People
Pritzker.
are tired of elected officials arguing with one another
Yep.
about who needs to bring charges, who needs to bring a case, who's allowed to say something, who's not allowed to say something. The problem that we have is nobody is talking about taking action. Nobody is talking about the obvious misconduct that happened and bringing prosecutions based on that obvious misconduct. And so from the Cook County State's Attorney, what we are hearing is there are obstacles. I haven't been presented a case. There are things that I would need to do to overcome federal immunity. We're not hearing a commitment, as we've heard in other jurisdictions around the United States, to investigate and prosecute, and that is the problem. That is the abdication of duty, and that is why a special independent prosecutor is needed.
How do you know she's not? What kind of proof do you have behind the scenes investigations not taking place? What's the difference for saying independent prosecution? No evidence for conviction.
So,
There's enough evidence.
The question is, how do we know there aren't investigations being conducted right now behind the scenes by the Cook County State's Attorney's Office? A couple of reasons. One, she said there are no investigations that have been presented to me that I can prosecute, right? That is quite contrary to the idea that there's an ongoing investigation behind the scenes. Two, she's never said, I'm investigating these crimes. There's nothing that stops an elected official from saying, I am investigating the crimes that occurred within my jurisdiction. Three, it's been 6 months since these crimes committed, most of them on video, occurred in Cook County. Any responsible elected leader who has prosecutorial power would say, I am investigating what happened to my constituents. I am investigating the murders, the assaults. I'm investigating the lies that occurred in the building across the street. I'm investigating the conspiracy. We have heard nothing of the sort. In fact, from this state's attorney, we have heard exactly the opposite. So that's how we know that there is no investigation going on behind the scenes.
Well, do you know that Chicago police evidence and also you need more than just a video, right? So you know evidence that's coming from the federal government challenges
So the question is, has the state's attorney been deprived, this question rephrased, is has the state's attorney been deprived of evidence it needs to prosecute? And the answer to that question is absolutely not. Video alone is enough in many, many cases to show that a crime has been committed. The Chicago Police Department does not have the sole responsibility to investigate and to present a completed case to the state's attorney in a context like this. The federal government has made extremely clear that it does not intend to investigate and prosecute the crimes committed by its own agents under the direction of the Trump administration in this jurisdiction. So there isn't some absence of evidence, there isn't some inability to coordinate with law enforcement agents that is preventing the state's attorney from taking action. And one of the ways that we know that is that elected prosecutors around the United States in exactly the same situation have said, as the violence is ongoing in their jurisdictions, we're going to investigate and prosecute these
Yeah.
crimes. That's the kind of commitment that the people of Cook County are looking for from their elected leaders, and that's what they are
Yep.
not getting.
Right.
One of the petitioners, one of my colleagues wanted to say something.
Thank you. I just want to say that this is shared responsibility. We play a role, everyone behind me plays a role in bringing justice. And all we're asking for is that everyone else does their job the way we're doing our jobs. We are collecting evidence. People are putting their lives on the line so that the excuse that there is no evidence is not optional. There is evidence. Body cameras, we're trying our best to be out in the community, putting ourselves in danger, being tear gassed, witnessing things. I mean, I can't tell you the mental health toll it takes on every individual in 100 different ways. All we're asking for, we're gonna continue to do our job. We're gonna continue to uphold our responsibility as leaders, as elected officials, but we need everyone to do their part because we're out there and we want everybody else to be out there right with us.
We'll take more questions if there are more questions.
Are there any specific charges that you're expecting or planning or hoping for?
So the question is, are there particular charges that we're expecting or hoping for? Here's an important point that I think all of us want to make. We are here not to say, here are the charges that should be brought. We're here not to say, this is the result of the investigation, we want these people dragged into court no matter what. We believe
It's $8 in California
process,
piece for
and
gas.
we believe in due process. We believe in it for all people. And so what we're asking for is not a result. We're asking for an independent prosecutor who can look at all this evidence, take an objective view, removed from politics, which is not going on right now, and make a decision about what charges should be brought. There are a lot of professional attorneys in this city who I think would relish the chance to investigate the conduct that has occurred and to make the decisions about what crimes have occurred. As we say in the petition, all kinds of crimes have been committed. All kinds of crimes have been committed on video.
Yep.
It won't be our role in this process to decide what crimes should be prosecuted.
And are you talking about all agents ranging from the standard ICE or CBP officer all the way up to Christy Nome and Gregory Bovino when you're talking about this investigation?
The question again is, are we talking about agents all the way from the line level up the chain of command to Bovino and Nome? Here's what I will say about that. There's no question that crimes were committed by agents on the streets of Cook County throughout Operation Midway Blitz. There is no question that Greg Bovino walked into the building across the street and
pushed me into a tree
multiple times. Those are crimes. There's no question that the operation was coordinated and the policy of excessive illegal force was dictated from the top down. But again, the question of who should be held accountable and what crimes should be charged is a question for the person who ultimately becomes the special prosecutor.
Good.
If Cook County State's Attorney Eileen Burke refuses to appoint a special prosecutor, what's the next step?
The question was, if the state's attorney doesn't appoint a special prosecutor, what's the next step? A clarification on the process is important.
Yeah, Bovino's
The
agents.
decision about whether to appoint a special prosecutor will be up to the chief judge of the criminal court of Cook County and not the state's attorney. The issue here is the state's attorney conflicted out of representing the people of Cook County in these investigations and prosecutions? Our petition argues that she is, and then it'll be up to the chief judge of the criminal court to appoint a special prosecutor or not. So it's going to be in front of Chief Judge Erica Reddick on March 24th. At
March 24th.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. Somebody write that down. March 24th, 10 a.m.
Any other questions? ART, A-R-T.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you all for
ART.
coming. We really appreciate it.
Okay. Yay. I'm going to give him my card. See, Tina, just ask my chat. They've been around for a while. Things have happened. Thank you. This is my card. I've been out at Broadview since September. I have Bavino on tape. I have all, so you can use anything you want on my channel. And if you need anything, my email address is on there. There we go. Hi, Care Bear. Okay, the gentleman has my card. I don't know if I have any more. Oh, so she's a Channel 2 reporter.
That is helpful.
Well, my brain is just fixed
I
problems.
wasn't able to tell you something other than just like,
Well, that was good. Interesting. March 24th. I think that was the day. I'll look it up again when I get home. It's cold in the shade. Okay. All right, so they're trying their best to get a special prosecutor. Here's hoping that actually happens. But again, it all lies, hopefully they go after the state police and the sheriff's department also, and Broadview, for what they've been doing out there since they started protecting the ICE facility. You know, everybody's letting them get by with all the crap that they've been doing out there, which was and is just as bad as ICE. The only thing they're not doing is using tear gas and pepper balls, but they're still arresting people. They're still being violent against people that have nothing, they yell at them, the protesters yell at the police or yell at ICE, and then they get targeted for absolutely no reason whatsoever, except for, their feelings got hurt. But their go-to thing is obstruction and resisting arrest. How is that okay? It's not. It is not. Okay, guys. The press conference is over now, so I will be leaving. Thank you all for coming in. I really appreciate it. The judge will hear it on March 24th, I believe was the date. He will review the case and the petition. So there will be a judge that actually makes the decision. Everybody have a great day. It's a beautiful day here. Probably one of the last ones we have, being that we're supposed to get snow on Monday. I will be out at Broadview either tomorrow, well, Saturday for sure. So maybe tomorrow I'll do some other things, but Saturday I will be out at Broadview because there will be a protest at noon as usual. Thank you all for coming in. Have a great day. Stay safe and stay warm. Bye. Thanks, mods.